Well, good morning, friends. Crystal here, and welcome to my channel, Homemaking on the Homestead. And today I am going to do just a little coffee with Crystal. I am working on cup number 2, and thought it would be a good time to just sit and chat because I am doing a whole bunch of stuff back here in my kitchen. As you can see, I have my canner out, and it is already in process. I've got the jars filled, they're in there. I have been canning meatballs. So the interesting thing about canning meatballs is that I had wanted to try canning some already pre-made meatballs. I buy my meatballs from Costco, and you know, these are the ones that I buy. I just was questioning because you don't want to can things that have a lot of fillers in them, and sometimes these types of things can have a lot of additives and a lot of fillers. So, and it's usually not recommended that you can things that have that. So I've hemmed and hawed for a while. I've talked to a few people, and a lot of people were just on the fence about it. So I had decided not to do it. And then the other day I was watching a video by RoseRed Homestead. I know I've talked about her before. She's an amazing lady, a scientist, and has a great YouTube channel. So if you haven't checked out her channel, please do. But she was canning these. And so I'm kind of like, oh, wow, she's doing it. And then I guess she got a lot of people asking questions because they had the same concerns that I had just mentioned. And so she did a second video, which I'll post that video below, on why she felt comfortable canning these. And in the end, the main reasons is because of the way that Costco's are made, or the types of ingredients they use. Any of the fillers that are actually in them is such a small amount in the whole process that she felt perfectly comfortable that they were safe to can. So I trust her judgment on so many things, and I decided that, you know, that was where I was at. Is it such a small amount that it's not going to make any difference, or is it a big amount and I need to be more cautious? I couldn't say that it would be okay from the perspective of any other type of meatball brand, but for this one, I'm good with it. So I started that out. I have filled 8-pint jars, and I still have quite a few meatballs left over. So we'll see. That might become something that goes with dinner tonight because I've already defrosted them and I would need to use them or can another batch. We'll see. My canner is getting ready to do the venting stage right now. So if you hear it in the background, that is what you are hearing. Again, this canner is just so incredibly easy to use. It's kind of just doing its own thing. The next thing that I need to do is put the regulator on and push it over to the canning mode, and it's just gonna do its thing for 75 minutes while well, it'll take longer than that while it heats up cans for 75 minutes and cools down, and I don't even have to worry about it anymore. So I've just been loving this canner. Okay, so let's see. The other thing I wanted to chat with you guys about is I have had a very busy week this week because I have a new grandbaby. My daughter had her little girl. Zara Rose is what they named her. She weighed 8 pounds, 10 ounces, a big girl, and we are just so thrilled. Things did not go according to how we had planned. My daughter's had her last 3 babies at home, and so that was what was planned until about last week or so when little Zara decided to go turn sideways. She had been head down, then she turned sideways, and then she turned breech. And, you know, my daughter was just not comfortable with that. The midwife decided that, you know, that's probably it's not necessarily a safe thing. This midwife's been a midwife for many, many years and has delivered breech babies. But, you know, we are an hour away from the hospital, being out in the country like this, and she didn't want to take any chances, and I totally supported that opinion. So she went off to the hospital, and my daughter just decided to, you know, go ahead and have her C-section and make sure that mama and baby were both safe. And I think it was definitely the right choice. So my husband and I, along with her husband's parents, we kind of kept everything running between kids and home and all those things. Everything was just under control. and she got home yesterday, and it was just precious. So that makes 2 grandbabies for me this year, and I am just thrilled. And this is a special year. Okay, so there you are with all my chatty updates, and I really wanted to share some, just a couple things with you. The first one, I got a book that I bought this book a while back, a couple months ago at least. It is called Money Secrets of the Amish: Finding True Abundance in Simplicity, Sharing, and Saving. And so I finally took it off my shelf to start reading it. This was a thrift book purchase, and I haven't gotten terribly far in it yet, but something came up in it that just was really, I enjoyed the whole topic of it. Before I get into that, though, reading this book made me reflect on a YouTube channel that I really like, and it's Homestead Tessie. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with her YouTube channel or not. She's a really sweet lady. She has been such a joy to be able to watch over the years. After I came out of the hospital and with my surgery a few years ago, I kind of just found her channel, and because I had such a long recovery period, I just kind of binge watched her videos, and she just gave me so much encouragement, so much joy, and she's got just a super sweet personality. She has an amazing smile and laugh, and she just has all kinds of good things to share all the time, and she puts out a video every day, and I have no idea how she does that, because I struggle with 2 a week, so I admire her greatly for that. The reason I'm bringing her up in relation to this book is because she is currently doing a 31-day series on the Amish homemaker housewife. I don't know that she's doing it. I don't think she's doing it every single day, but she is going to have 31 days of the Amish housewife, I guess. And that has been fun to watch. I've watched a few of those already, and she talks about, how the Amish homemaker grocery shops and just different aspects of Amish homemaker life. So I'll leave a link to her channel below, so make sure you go check that out. What I really have enjoyed about this author is, number one, her writing. I have read so many frugal, money-saving books that it's really difficult for me to find something that is going to give me any new and exciting ideas anymore. I have, I've read a lot over the years on it, but this lady has a way of taking some of the most basic, simple things and turning them into sometimes humorous stories, and just putting her own spin on it, and that has been a lot of fun to read. The one thing that she has done is go and actually talk to Amish people and interview them and get their secrets. What are your money-saving secrets? So what got my attention was the chapter that I am currently reading. The chapter is called Don't Eat the Marshmallow: Learning Delayed Gratification. So back in 1960, apparently there was a marshmallow study that they would take little children, like 4 years old or so, and put them in a room, and on a plate they would put 1 marshmallow, and then they would say, okay, I'm going to leave the room, and you can have that marshmallow if you want it, or if you wait, when I come back into the room, I will give you 2 marshmallows. So the study basically looked to see how many children would wait for that extra marshmallow and how many would just go ahead and eat it. Very cute study. I think there's even some things on YouTube. I saw something the other day on that. And so the question becomes, in our life, how often do we work for something, wait for something, and delay our gratification, or take something now, even though it might not be the best or the best choice? How often does that happen? We live in this society of instant gratification. You pick up your phone or get on the computer, and you can go over to Amazon, order something, and some places you can get it that very day. I remember, of course, because of my age, life before the internet, and if I wanted to order something from a catalog, first I had to send them a little postcard requesting their catalog and wait for that to come. Then I had to peruse the catalog, find what I wanted, fill out an order form, put it in the mail with my check, send it off, and wait then sometimes as much as 6 to 12 weeks for my item to arrive. how far different things are today. So many people in the younger groups are growing up with a life that never even knew anything like that. They never had any concept of delaying their gratification. But yet, at times, even the Bible speaks about delayed gratification and waiting on the Lord. And so many times we just don't have the patience to want to wait for something. I know the ladies I'm talking to are going to be able to, yes, I can relate to this completely. I thought it would be kind of fun if any of you felt comfortable enough to share a story of a time when you had to wait for something and it ended up being the best thing that ever happened to you, or it ended up being absolutely the right choice. One of the things I think about is oftentimes when I do go onto Amazon to purchase something, that I oftentimes will put things in my cart. And it could be days, weeks, or even longer before I actually pull the trigger and buy it. I have found over time that often it's an impulse for me to go and say, you know what, I really could use this. I really need this. And so immediately I go to Amazon and I put it in the cart. And then I always stop and say, wait, do I actually need that? So, and oftentimes I go back and will remove them because it's like, that isn't necessary. Waste of my money or whatever. So, it could work that way. Either waiting for something was the best choice ever, or after waiting, you decided that it wasn't worth what you thought it was to begin with. The most famous story that I have to share is getting our homestead here. And my husband and I wanted to raise our children in the country, and we wanted our little homestead so badly. And I know I shared this story in the past, but in case you missed it, I just wanted to repeat it. And so when he finally started working after school, and we got our finances in order, and we had a little tiny bit of saving, we started looking to see, well, what could we afford? And we could afford absolutely nothing in the country. I mean, it was way over our price range and our ability to be able to afford. We were very disappointed when we realized this, and so we thought, well, what do we do? How do we make our dreams come true? So what we decided to do, because my husband is a very handy guy, he knows a lot, not just about fixing airplanes, cars, but building home type stuff. And so what we decided to do is to buy ourselves a fixer-upper in the city and fix it up, and then be able to get enough equity through that process. And of course, hopefully in the time that goes by, the price of property would go up a little bit more, and the combination of those two things would allow us to have enough to be able to purchase a more expensive piece of property in the country. And that is what we did. So after about 5 years of fixing up the place, our home, my husband had done a lot. There was new kitchen, new bathroom. We had done all kinds of painting and repairs. It was an older house, so he had done a lot of things to kind of mix in with the older style, so it was very nice, and we were ready to sell. So we started looking for property, and we looked at so many pieces of property, and there was always something about it that just wasn't working for us, whether it was a location, or the distance to my husband's work was too great, or we didn't like the area. There were just so many different things. And it literally took us 2 more years to find this place. And when we found this place, we immediately knew that, yes, this was the place. And, we've been here for like 26, 27 years now, so obviously it was the right place for us. And that delaying that gratification for those 7 years, and putting in all that work and time into fixing up the home that we had, and strategizing and planning for this country life, ended up being very well worth it, and it was a decision that we have never regretted. Anyway, that's my little story on one big item of delayed gratification. There are so many more where the benefits of the delayed gratification, and I think it's something that we need to teach children about today because of the society that we live in, is to make sure that our children understand, our grandchildren, young children today. I gotta go deal with my canner. Hold on. The canning process has begun. Teaching children today to wait for things is so important because society around them is not going to be doing that. There are going to be too many instant gratification moments, but to really work for something, learn to wait for something, I think is such a valuable skill for kids to learn nowadays. Anyway, like I said, if you have a delayed gratification story that you could share to encourage others, I think that would be so nice, because I think also delayed gratification kind of goes right hand in hand with the contentment, because sometimes when we are waiting for that time thing to happen, for whatever it is you're waiting for, it could lead to a lot of discontentment. And of course, you know, my word for this year has been contentment, and I have talked a little bit about that here and there. And I realized too, as I was reading through that chapter, it's like, yes, you know, that delayed gratification, learning to wait, is also learning to be content. And that is a good skill to have too. All right, you guys. Well, I have this canner moving forward, and I am going to figure out what I'm doing for dinner tonight. I have enough of these meatballs left over that I can either try to can some more when this batch is done, or use some of these for dinner tonight, or maybe both. I don't know. Haven't figured it out, but maybe I'll do spaghetti and meatballs for dinner tonight with a jar of my own home canned spaghetti sauce. In any case, I hope you guys have an awesome and blessed day today, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye-bye.